Oh, wait. Welcome to our episode today.
Welcome back to The Good Life, where we are here to hopefully give you some inspiration, motivation, and encouragement in your life.
Yes. So welcome back again. Thank you for tuning in today. Hey, we want to give you some really exciting things that we can do together to balance marriage and kids.
Yes.
Two things that you could be juggling very difficultly. So this is what we want you to do to make sure that you have success.
Yeah, so when we talk about having...
floorboards over here.
Oh, squeak! When we talk about balancing or finding harmony with being married and having children, we're talking about making sure that you're keeping your marriage strong along with having children. Not just that you and your counterpart are there and you guys are co-parenting with one another and your marriage isn't really a priority in your life, right?
Yeah. And we know that having kids, having two ourselves, is difficult.
Yes.
And challenging at times. It can be fun, but it also is time consuming, which is, it's a fine thing. It's a good thing. You should be spending a lot of time with your kids, but you also have to spend time with one another so that you can make that relationship stronger, so that your kids can see a strong relationship, emulate that, and use that when they get older. So one of the things that we know works super well is date nights. Making sure that you are still spending time with her.
Or him.
Yes.
You should want to hang out with one another.
You should.
You should. And if you are making date night a priority, and when I say making date night a priority, I mean actually getting a nanny or a babysitter or somewhere for the children to go. Maybe you have older children and you can bribe your oldest child to babysit.
Yeah.
Whatever drives them or encourages them or moves them to want to watch the younger kiddos so that you guys can get out of the house and spend some time together. Whatever it looks like for you, we're just saying put it on the calendar.
Yes.
Like,
stick to it.
Religiously. You have to stick to it. So no, the day before or the night of, you're like, oh, do you just want to stay in with the kids? I'm so tired.
Oh man, he's got basketball practice.
Yeah.
Probably
oh, I was running around all day and I'm just exhausted. Or let's rain check. I just want to sit on the couch and watch Netflix. No, you need to get out of the house, and date night needs to stay a priority, because at the end of the day, if this is not strong, then you do not have a foundation for your family.
And she knows strength, people. She knows strength. Keep your relationship strong. Keep it strong. Super important. And the other thing is that you spend time with each other after the kids are asleep.
Yes.
So if work is chaotic, if life is chaotic, if there's things that are throwing everything apart, what you can do is make sure that after those kiddos go to bed, that you have some one-on-one time with each other. And it's not the same thing as sitting on the couch on your phone.
No, that's
or
not
watching
time together.
TV.
Because then
or
you know what?
Working.
You're not, especially if you're on your phone. Maybe you guys are watching a show together and that's how you guys like to relax. We like to do that sometimes. I will admit, there are times where my phone is in my hand while we're watching our show, which is a no-no, and we used to have a very strict rule about it, and we just got to get back to doing that. Mm-hmm. But one thing that is not is if you put a show on and then both of you are on your phones the whole entire time, because you're no longer hanging out with one another, even though physically you're with the person, you're hanging out with everybody else that you're giving attention to on social media. So I think that's a really good segue into just saying, like, balance out. You need to find balance with being present and having your time with your spouse when no children are around, which is why we said have that time after the kiddos go to bed, or after your adolescent older children like go to their bedrooms to like hang out.
That's a dog. Yes. It is, and it's that one-on-one time that we all need. We all need to have that relationship, and that has to be a focus. You could say that 50 years ago was the newspaper, and you were just sitting there behind a newspaper. Now it's the phone. It's the same kind of thing. It's just more addicting, and it attracts you more because of the bells and whistles of everything. But remove yourself from that. Center yourself with the one that you want to be with for the rest of your life, because if you don't spend that time, you will not be with them for the rest of your life. So make sure that that is a focus, that your wife, your husband is a focus. Your relationship is a focus.
Yeah. Speaking of focus, another focus of yours that we highly recommend is talking every single day.
Yes. Real talk.
Real talk.
Not just love you.
Yeah,
Bye.
not talking because the children are around and you're talking to the children and then you say something to them because you're talking about the kids or whatever, what's for dinner. That's not the kind of talking we're speaking of. We are saying devote one-on-one attention to looking that person in the eye, asking them how their day was, actually sitting down and making it longer than it was fine. Mm-hmm. Okay. What happened? What do you mean it was fine? What did you do for your workout? Like, weird. Sometimes I'm like, what did you have for lunch today?
And I don't remember. So, guys, speaking specifically to you, we have a hard time processing that. We have a box in our head and our box is empty. There's a great YouTube video on that. Maybe I'll put it in the
Your
show
empty
notes.
Box.
The empty box. Guys have the empty box. And we don't want anything in that empty box because it's empty. We don't want you in there. We don't want anybody in there. It's our box full of nothing. And women's brains, a lot of times, are there's a lot going on.
We have a bunch of boxes full of spaghetti.
And this thing connects to that, and that to that, and this to that, and that to that. And it can be different sometimes. So when your wife asks you what you did today and you can't remember, well, that's because you were focused in that box of nothing. Mm-hmm. But when you are present, when you are talking, talk. Get out of that box. Come to reality for a little bit. Yeah. And be with the one that you love. Even
if it's difficult, because let's face it, at the end of the day, you're tired. I think a lot of people would just say, I'm beat. Or you see those movies from the 80s where the wife walks in and wants to talk to the husband, and the husband is sitting in his recliner and he's like, I'm tired, leave me alone. It just cracks open a beer and he's just done. Yeah, sometimes it will be difficult for you to actually sit down and have a one-on-one conversation and have it be intellectual and full of depth rather than just surface level stuff. But the more connected you are in knowing on a daily basis how your significant other feels, how their day went, what they did, then there's constant open communication. Because sometimes those closed doors and closed communication, if you go up and you try to talk to your wife and your wife is like, not right now. And that's a repetitive thing over and over and over again. I don't want to talk right now. Or your husband is like, I'm really tired. Can we talk about it tomorrow? And then that happens day after day after day. Your significant other is going to get trained to that and they're going to shut down. They're not going to ask to try to talk to you anymore. And then it becomes a problem because like Michael always says, it always comes down to communication and trust. And if you're not communicating, then trust is also impacted. And then you no longer have trust within that person.
Yeah. That's it. Those are 3 ways, 3 things that you can easily put into your relationship to keep it strong. We want that bond. Soldar. We want that bond. I forgot what movie that was from. That connection that you cannot break.
Yes.
Or a ring. A ring. No beginning, no end. It's so connected that there is no beginning or no end. Keep that in your relationship. Put your comments below. We'll see you next time. And don't forget to subscribe.
Bye, guys.